everyone who knows me, or most people who know me, know that I came from Destiny's community, and that sometimes I defend him a little harder than a bunch of other people on the left. And I still do that, I think, to a large extent. I don't know. It's his rhetorical style, maybe. I learned a lot from it. And while his latest anti-left arc has been unpleasant for a variety of reasons, there's no denying that his rhetorical ability has put a lot of the lefty competitors who have come on to debate him to shame. And I respect that. After all, we go strong. You know, you break a bone and you reset it and it heals even stronger, okay? Destiny was a huge inspiration for me. And it's not as though I'm averse to arguing with left-leaning people I disagree with. I mean, look at my fucking history. But lately, some of his takes have been really disappointing. There are two videos he released recently. One of them is called Learning About the Opposition, and the thumbnail subtitle is Communism Isn't Relevant. And the other one is J.K. Rowling a TERF? And I am more than a little disappointed with how these videos turned out. Join me.
Talking about
communism.
God damn it. Why are you fucking talking about communism? Why?
Because I'm trying to learn more about it.
It's a waste of time. Why not learn something that actually matters?
Wait. How do you say that it's a waste of time? Don't you think that the most important thing about, like, arguing for a certain thing, like if you're a capitalist or whatever position that you hold, if you want to, like, argue against the other position, shouldn't you understand it, like, extremely well?
If somebody told you that you should invest...
So, he's just playing games. All that happened was that one of the people with whom he's speaking mentioned that they were learning about communism. Now, I always knew Destiny to be like a super big brain, like very much anti-intellectual. He's very much in favor of learning. He's very much in favor of introspection and engagement with ideas you're not typically familiar with. But this time...
15 hours into learning about which universe is better, the Star Wars or the Star Trek universe. What would your answer be?
Star Wars. Yeah, but that's not comparable.
Exactly.
So, Destiny here is suggesting that learning about communism is comparable to learning about the details of a fantasy universe.
Exactly. You would say, well, I'm not going to waste my time on some fantastic, like, delusional shit. Communism is the same shit. Nobody seriously, like, ever considers communism. Nope.
Except communism, or at least people pretending to it, was one of the dominant world powers for the breadth of the 20th century, and literally hundreds of incredibly important political leaders, philosophers, economists, and revolutionaries have been inspired by communism and the writings of those who interpret the theory of communism and build the theory of communism. So...
nobody ever, like, academically contends with it.
Nobody academically contends with communism. Yeah, who the fuck is Noam Chomsky? I don't know, just the 6th most cited researcher in human history, if I recall correctly. So, I guess we can do a little quick history lesson. I'm mostly here to shit on Destiny, but the idea that nobody seriously contends with leftists, he's just using communism here, but I assume he broadly means leftist ideas. I assume that if I brought up anarchism, if I was there in that conversation, he would not then go, oh, anarchism is fine. Yes, I'm only referring to communism. Probably not the case. However, the degree to which leftist theory has influenced academia is extraordinary. It's unbelievable. The degree to which it has influenced law, sociology, political theory, should be fairly obvious, economics, philosophy of government, basically every socially or civically oriented, major you could possibly take, any field of study that deals in these, even anthropology, history. Do you have any idea how left-leaning history is as a field? This is just so fucking anti-intellectual, and I guess our chats are overlapping, so here you go, boyos. Look, you can be over here. It's so unbelievably anti-intellectual, and the reason he's doing this, and I keep saying this, I say this over and over again, Destiny engages in spite-based politics. It's so childish. He's mad right now because he's had his big lefty arc and all the lefties have failed to live up to his intellectual standards. So now all leftism is dumb. I'm pretty sure that if he brought on a collection of liberals, like 20 just random liberals to argue with as well, he would also, in all likelihood, find them to be wanting. And then what would he have to do? Disavow liberalism? He's already pretty uninterested in democracy as a concept, so maybe he's not far from that too. I don't know what sort of third positionism he's leaning towards. Sometimes he varies towards suckdem policies. Sometimes he actually unironically says that democracy doesn't function. That this degree of anti-intellectualism is really inexcusable for somebody who's done so much good work in the past. And it gets worse. We're going to get to that soon.
There is no academic research or academic studies with anything having to do with socialism or communism.
I suppose I don't have to give that much credence by responding to it.
It's not something that anybody that's educated in economics or philosophy even takes seriously.
I suppose I don't have to explain why this is wrong as well. He's he is just talking out of his ass. I can do the meme. Wait, hold on. Right,
What to do with socialism or communism? It's not something that anybody that's educated in economics or philosophy even takes seriously. It's a big fucking meme.
What a fucking liar, dude! What a fucking liar, dude! What a Weasley little fucking liar, dude! Still lying. Okay, there we go. I did. Okay, I did it. There you go, guys. Yes.
Meme that white rich men on the internet talk about because they have.
Oh, this is another thing he's really fond of. Hey guys, he's very intent on painting leftism as something only rich white men care about.
Philosophy even take seriously. It's a big fucking meme that white rich men on the internet talk about because they have no other way to virtue signal to each other how cool they are.
So this is a level of dishonesty that I would legitimately expect from somebody like Sargon of Akkad or Teal Deer or somebody in that ballpark. Leftist theory, which has been used as emancipatory education across the world, that has led to revolutions and leaders cropping up in developing countries and in developed countries alike that have united white and brown people. Socialism, which literally motivated Martin Luther King Jr. towards his civil rights protests. Malcolm X, Angela Davis, essentially every emancipatory movement, be they white or brown, over the past century has had some degree of tie to broader leftist theory. But he does this crazy straw man. Of course, the majority of left-leaning YouTubers are going to be well-off white dudes because being a well-off YouTuber usually selects for those categories. I don't know where he's getting the rich idea from. Socialism tends to be more popular amongst the less well-off. I have no idea where the fuck he's getting that idea from. I don't know where he's getting this men thing from, because when it comes to political participation, I'm pretty sure that left-leaning ideologies have a greater degree of female participation than other expressed ideologies. I mean, it's no libertarianism. It's no fascism. I don't know. This could just be my experience in my community because I have a tremendous number of trans people and women and people of color who follow my content. But I see them everywhere. I just don't know where this idea is coming from. I certainly don't think my community is filled with fucking rich people. Except for all of you who donate. Thanks.
There's literally, if you wanted to learn about... I'm sorry, wow.
More women call themselves communists than men. There have been studies done on it. Interesting. I'd have to see to confirm, but...
Holy shit. Hold on. I'm sorry. I just realized I'm... Wait. Hold on. Let me back up. Hold on. I just realized I'm in, super fucking debate mode. Whew, let me just take a deep breath. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, wait, start over. Go.
Remember, all the woman did was say she was reading up on communism. That's it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
How did you arrive at those conclusions? Did you arrive at them through educating yourself? Because I personally like to arrive at these conclusions by personally learning about these things, and I don't just go off of what other people think. I think that people should be able to investigate these theories and give them genuine consideration and understand how they're operating. And I don't think that pursuing knowledge and education is ever a bad thing.
This is an inarguable statement. She's literally just I like to learn about things myself. Pursuing knowledge is always a good thing. This is an inarguable position right here.
So yeah, that's. I guess at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is what your goal is. So for me, when I debated conservatives, every issue that I had to research and every issue that I dug into was hyper relevant to today's political landscape and is hyper relevant to almost every issue facing America today. Like, if I'm going to argue about immigration, like, it gives me perspectives on DACA. It gives me
Okay, hold up. Keep in mind, set up, then payoff.
Perspectives on California. It gives me perspectives on ICE. It gives me
perspectives on California? Okay.
On our economy. It gives me perspectives on H-1B visas, right? If I want to argue about like race realism, it gives me perspectives on race in the United States, on black people in education. Like, there's so much cool shit that I learn about when I argue with like conservative viewpoints. Like, I feel like I learn so much relevant stuff. When I argue with lefties, I learn about the history of the USSR, I guess, like the Great Leap Forward in China, different coups in South America. Like,
so this right here is the dichotomy that Destiny props up to support the idea that you don't learn relevant information from arguing with leftists. Now, first of all, and pardon me for being particular about this, I'm gonna do it. Destiny, we're both Amerifats. For you to impugn the left for being full of rich white men and then snobbily say that the history of coups in Latin America isn't important is actually pretty fucking disgusting. I mean, it's an entire continent that's been raped by repeated interventionism from Western countries and through like neoliberal policies and been kept essentially in the dirt. This isn't like just a lefty position, but leftists seem to be the only ones willing to actually like examine the reasons why all of this is happening. Because if you're not a leftist, there are blind spots in your broader theoretical analysis of certain global issues that you really can't overcome. I've seen capitalists try and explain away the poverty in Latin America with like their culture. Oh, they just must not have a culture amicable towards the free market. Maybe if they made better personal decisions, they could vote in not dictators who mysteriously seize power after military coups, after a democratically elected socialist is put into office. So anyway, like, to say that's irrelevant, I think is a little bit crass at the very least. But more importantly, though, what the fuck do you mean lefty debates only lead to understanding of the given topics? History of the USSR, as though leftism hasn't been, you know, broadly relevant from everything from the 99%, the fucking Wall Street protests, going back, everything from the fucking origins of the civil rights movement to broader understandings of the accumulation of capital in the hands of the upper 1% in America these days, the increasing disparity of economic disenfranchisement between those who have and those who have not. Leftist analysis is like critically relevant. And you know this because you've had these discussions. You've had these discussions before. The idea that like a leftist analysis is utterly irrelevant to the political and social turmoil in the world today is abhorrently ignorant. It's actually astonishing to me. And I agree, by the way, that there are left-leaning people out there who focus mostly on esoteric historical issues that don't really mean much to the now. I criticize these people. And I agree there are lefty figures out there who spend their entire day fucking LARPing about how the glorious revolution will come tomorrow and we need to get ready and we need to get the guns. And I get it, and that's dumb too. That's why I take my leftist analysis and I, you know, broadly apply it towards issues that are happening in America today. Critical theory is a product of leftist analysis. The entire field of sociology has been influenced by it. The entire field of economics is being rocked right now by discourse between those who are trying to deal with the impending sort of like economic problems we're dealing with like Keynesian solutions, and those who are like challenging the system altogether with a more like Marxist approach, or at least with more like you know, collectivist ideas when it comes to economic redistribution. The fact that there are multiple presidential candidates right now that are unironically advocating for protectionism is something that leftism has a serious hand in, for better or for worse. It's just genuinely disappointing. And this video goes on for a little bit. We're not going to go over 15 minutes and 33 seconds of him going over these points over and over and over again. But it's genuinely disappointing because he got mad about this from just a person, from a woman mentioning that she wanted to learn more about communism. Like, what are we to take from this? Like Destiny, you had your fun with these debates. You know, you had your fun with this discussion. You have determined in your, you know, sort of ulterior ivory tower, you know, perspective that nobody else need learn about communism anymore. I don't know. Destiny is talking right now about how your followers are all rich white college kids right now in a stream. You need to get over there and respond. That seems unlikely to me, given how easily falsifiable a claim that is. But far be it from me to pass up an invitation for drama.
Too. You got a few pounds on me. You know what I'm saying? Missed
Nice
it.
job.
Sorry.
I
Bullying
think
is
you were
allowed.
lying to me.
He's
Yeah, I'm
silent.
here.
No, you didn't hear my bullying?
Sorry, I'm talking to me. What were you saying, Dan?
You didn't. It's probably the best you didn't hear it.
No, I didn't hear anything. I took my earbuds out.
Yeah, I think we're in the clear. You
That
sneaky,
didn't hit me, by the
sneaky
way.
drama mongers trying to start shit. What a fucking liar, dude. But hey, you know, could have been true. You never know. Yeah, too many chats. Has like fucking 4 chats up at a time. I'm not lying. I'll find the clip. Okay, well, go for it, comrade. We can add it to the content. Whatever the case may be, this is not the only shit take Destiny has had recently.
Speaking of cancel worthy tweets, did you say J.K. Rowling's hot take? I didn't see J.K. Rowling say anything that seemed like absolutely fucking horrible.
All right. So before we jump directly into this, I've done a video on the J.K. Rowling thing, and anyone who's watched that knows why this is already bad, but we can go a little bit further.
She just doesn't seem to be somebody that knows much about like trans issues. That's a really nuanced set of topics to get into, and I wouldn't expect any normal person that doesn't have a ton of engagement with the LGBT community to have like a good take on that. Like, Jesus Christ, to get into are trans women real women? Like, to even begin to broach that topic, we have to get into like forms of like deconstructionism in terms of like how we categorize like topic. Like, that's a really deep topic to get into.
Yeah, except J.K. Rowling lied. J.K. Rowling didn't just not demonstrate a knowledge of critical gender theory. J.K. Rowling lied. She framed it as though her friend Maya was fired for saying sex is a thing, for believing sex is real, when in reality, Maya was a very public transphobe while working for a humanitarian organization and was making her coworkers feel uncomfortable with her behavior. And then, when it came time to renew her employment contract, her renewal, she didn't get it renewed. She wasn't fired. Her contract just wasn't renewed. And then, after moaning and making a victim argument out of it for months, she took it to the UK Labour Tribunal to decide whether or not she was wrongly not renewed, and they found that she was not. There is no argument which poses J.K. Rowling's behavior as anything other than flagrant dishonesty to protect a transphobe. There is no conceivable way J.K. Rowling could have heard the information truthfully as it was presented and interpreted it in such a way as to make the statement she did in good faith. She lied to protect a transphobe, and she did it because she is a transphobe, and Destiny would have agreed with that position 8 months ago. But instead, he goes on this wheelbarrow roundabout argument about how, oh, gender is so complicated and, oh, I wouldn't expect these people to understand. Right. Why does Destiny always double up his chat room like that? Because he's less considerate than I am. This wheelbarrowing like, oh, well, actually, you know, who can really understand the nuances of gender theory? You don't have to understand the nuances of gender theory to not lie to protect transphobes. And as a consequentialist, I think you would be a little bit more willing to condemn people who engage in behavior which leads to bigotry against marginalized communities. I thought we were both consequentialists here, Stephen. Don't you feel as though the consequential outcomes of condemning people for, even with the most charitable interpretation, are engaging in flagrantly irresponsible dishonesty? Don't you think the consequences of condemning them are far, far better than the consequences of using their broader condemnation as an excuse to talk about how, well, actually, it's all very nuanced and, Destiny just banned Vosh's name in his chat, or was this something he's enforced for a while now? Every once in a while, he purges my name from his chat because he doesn't like being reminded I exist when his chat is reminding him that he needs to debate me. Whatever the case may be, this isn't really being done as a call-out. I learned so much from Destiny. It's fucking insane. Here's the clip where he talks about you. Oh, no.
Stop talking about Vosh roasting me. I don't care. I don't care about the lefties anymore. They don't matter. None of them matter for anything.
This is anti-intellectualism that I think is far, far beneath him.
So when's the next conservative?
Listen, when
The
Vosh can
next
fucking
conservative
run
is Mike Enoch on either the 8th or the 10th. It's on my schedule. That's the one that I'm looking forward to. So I can talk to relevant fucking people again. I don't give a... Stop.
So I can talk to relevant people, he says, talking to a neo-Nazi with no broader public platform. Mike Enoch is pretty big, admittedly, but there are lefties who are bigger than Mike Enoch. I actually wish him well in that debate. Anyway, this is anti-intellectualism of the highest order over here. Saying dumb shit and then backing off of it and refraining from engaging with those ideas because you don't like being called out on them. He hasn't had a proper lefty debate in a good long while. And notice, by the way, how over the course of this little segment, this little video, I haven't exactly been condemning him for not knowing the nuances of USSR's agricultural economy, nor am I condemning him for not being intimately familiar with the 87 fucking American coups in Latin America, or whatever the number is. I'm condemning him for being broadly anti-intellectual, a subject that he should be interested in, no matter which group of people he is currently interested in debating. After all, intellectual honesty is the underpinning of all debate, or at least all good debate, or at least all good debate from people who are acting in good faith. Which brings me then to the final question: why the fuck is he acting like this? Well, he does the spite-based politics thing like all the fucking time, dude, and it's really genuinely frustrating because when he's not doing that, he's actually rather intelligent. But as it stands, with his behavior as it is now, these videos are indefensible. For Destiny to throw up a cloud of smoke and play defense for J.K. Rowling on the grounds of ignorance when she had every fucking idea what she was doing, for him to argue that people shouldn't educate themselves on communism because nobody in academia or economics cares about communism, it's laughable. I don't know if this is like 8D chess and he's genuinely trying to act like a fucking idiot to sort of like eschew anyone left-leaning enough to recognize that this is bad behavior. But even if he was engaging in this stuff against conservatives, I would find this disappointing. Even if he was engaging in this like lazy behavior when it came to conservatism, I would be extremely disappointed. You know, this would be this wouldn't have been like the content that got me into him initially. You know what I mean? Because intellectual honesty helps no matter where you're aiming your vitriol. Whatever the case may be, he may not debate me, and that's totally fine, and that's, you know, his decision or whatever. And I do wish him the best with his debate with Mike Enoch. I mean, obviously it's preferable for him to do well than for him to do poorly, but I'm just severely disappointed in his behavior as of late. It's been harder and harder for me to watch his videos. And keep in mind, by the way, it's not because his videos are disagreeable. I've been a fan of his since 2011, I think. I've been a fan of his back when he was a libertarian, back when he was like right-leaning, back when he was like a full-on fucking conservative, and I would watch his streams every day after I got finished with high school homework. You know? I am more than capable of enjoying a Destiny who disagrees with me. But what I'm not capable of enjoying is a stupid Destiny who also disagrees with me. That's just a step too far. Oh, we got one more? Uh-oh.
God.
Stop talking about Vosh roasting me. I don't care.
Hey,
I don't care about people that have an online following of white college kids. People again. I don't give a fuck about people that have an online following of white college kids that want to feel important. So they talk about dumb shit like fucking socialism. It's the most boring shit in the fucking world.
True. Amen. Fuck them.
True.
It's so fucking boring. Holy shit. God, it reminds me of the fucking libertarians in high school. I can't believe I was ever one of those kids. So fucking cringe.
Hey, he wants help? Oh, you're doing the one?
Yeah, I'm just wondering.
True.
Deeply embarrassing behavior. But that's his prerogative.